Jews are definitely a race, but they are not human. This is a phrase that is commonly attributed to Hitler for the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. We think we are past dehumanizing people, but we are still doing it. We are doing it with unborn people. Just like Hitler justified killing Jews by affirming they are not people, people are justifying killing babies by claiming they are not human. 73 million babies are killed in abortion every single year. That's 200,000 murders per day being passed off as rights. This has to stop. But before we keep going, I know what some of you may be thinking. You can't be talking about abortion because you are a man. Well, first, there you would be committing a logical fallacy, because you will be attacking me instead of what I have to say. And second, of course I can speak out on an evil when I see one. And men have a lot to do with the abortion issue too. Two people create a human, a man and a woman. Yes, it is the woman that is pregnant and cares for the baby, but men have an equal responsibility to protect the baby. The first thing to know about the abortion issue is that the unborn child is indeed a human being. All biology and embryology textbooks claim that human life begins at conception. The Human Embryology and Teratology book says, although human life is a continuous process, fertilization, which incidentally is not a moment, is a critical landmark because, under ordinary circumstances, a new, genetically distinct human organism is formed when the chromosomes of the male and female pronuclei blend in the oocyte. Also, a study from Stephen Andrew Jacobs surveyed 5,502 biologists, including pro-choice biologists, asking them when human life begins from a biological standpoint. The results were that 95% of the biologists agree that human life begins at fertilization. From the moment of conception, we are human beings. Just think of yourself. The organism that was alive at your mother's womb has not died. That is you. Therefore, you were alive from the moment you were conceived. No matter in how many different positions a couple has sex, they will always create another human being. It's impossible for a human couple to create something that isn't a human being. So you can't say that they are not human beings, because they are. Science shows that. And every human has the right to life. Not because of abilities like pain, sensitivity, awareness, or sentience, but because they are a person that belongs to the rational kind. When a woman aborts a baby, she didn't prevent becoming a mother. She is now the mother of a murdered baby. You can try to call it differently, like an embryo or fetus. But do you know what those words mean? Embryo comes from Greek, which means something growing within. And fetus comes from Latin, which means offspring. It's still a child, even if they are in a different stage of human development. Using other language is just trying to dehumanize the baby in the womb. But what is an abortion? Abortion is the termination of a pregnancy by the removal or expulsion of an embryo or fetus from the uterus, resulting in their death. Here, I'm not talking about a miscarriage, where the baby unfortunately passes away because of a health issue. I'm talking about induced abortion, the direct killing of an unborn child. There's 4 main ways in which this is done, depending on the trimester. The images I'm about to show you are harsh, but they're necessary for showing the reality of abortion. In the first trimester, up to 14 weeks of pregnancy, the abortionist uses what is called a suction cannula that is used to suction the baby. The fetus is rapidly turned to pieces as it is pulled through the cannula and tubing into a large glass bottle. In the second trimester, between 14 weeks and 22 weeks, a sucker clamp is used to pull the baby out, limb by limb, piece by piece, until finally grabbing the head and there is nothing left of them. In the third trimester, for babies of 20 weeks and older, a syringe with a large needle is filled with a drug called digoxin, which is used to treat heart problems. But in an overdose, it causes cardiac arrest. The large needle is then injected into the fluid surrounding the fetus. The fetus doesn't die immediately. So, for the drug to be more effective, the abortionist may inject the needle directly into the baby, targeting the heart, body, or umbilical vein. All of these procedures have a lot of health risks for the mothers as well. They can produce urine perforation, cervical laceration, hemorrhage, infection, future pregnancy complications, and even death for the mother. And lastly, another option that has been offered to a first trimester abortion is the abortion pill. This can be taken up to approximately 10 weeks of pregnancy. Here, the woman swallows a mifepristone pill. This cuts off the access to nutrients and oxygen to the baby. This pill can also cause a lot of negative effects to the mother. These include abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, heavy bleeding, and even their death. Unlike what some people say, there's never a medical need to perform these kinds of atrocities. What sometimes can happen though is what is called an ectopic pregnancy, where the baby implants outside of the uterus, typically in the fallopian tubes, where they cannot survive and is life-threatening to the mother. Unfortunately, there's currently no way in which a baby can survive an ectopic pregnancy. So the baby must be removed by surgery or medication. But in this case, the intervention is done to save a life, not intentionally end a life. That's way different from directly murdering the baby inside of the womb in an induced abortion because of convenience. There can be other medical emergencies that require a pregnancy to end, like high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer. But there's never a need to perform the violent acts we just observed. Actually, the safest option for the mother in these cases is a preterm delivery, which can be done with procedures like C-section or induced labor. There, the intention is to save both lives, even if the baby may tragically die naturally outside of the womb. The same goes for cases where the baby's life is at risk. There's absolutely no need to murder them. They can be delivered in a preterm, where they may pass away, but they will do so naturally. In both of these cases, where the mother is at risk or the baby is at risk, a preterm delivery is the best option. It's safer for both of them, and you wouldn't be committing a violent act directly like in induced abortions. And lastly, abortion must not be confused with the treatment of a miscarriage, where doctors remove a child that has sadly already passed away. There, they are removing the body of a diseased child. But in an induced abortion, they are directly killing the child. They are two very different things. Like we saw, abortion is murder. We need to keep fighting for the truth of abortion to be seen. Every human deserves the right to life. I'll leave some resources for pregnant women in the video description if someone needs them. I'll also leave some links to charities you can donate to help mothers with vulnerable pregnancies. Killing an innocent human being is never the solution. The solution lies in supporting and providing company for the mother and her unborn child. Let's work together so that all mothers and their children receive the love they need and deserve. Thank you for watching.